Hi, I'm Dan Costa with PC Mag, and I'm here with Sasha Segan, and we're here to answer one simple question. Why is Verizon buying AOL? It seems like a simple question. It is a more complicated answer than it seems. Sasha, lay it out. I mean, what does Verizon want from AOL?
Well, most consumers think of AOL as the publisher of a bunch of content sites like Huffington Post or Engadget, or as a still weirdly profitable dial-up ISP for your grandma.
Okay, we were going to do that at the end. We got to say, maybe they're after the 2.1 million people that are still using AOL for dial-up service, and that's the only way they get online.
I think that's just the cake frosting.
2.1 million people in this country.
It's tasty
They're
frosting.
all going to go from dial-up to Fios.
Yep. No, they're going to be on Verizon dial-up. Right. It'll be Verizon dial-up now. They don't want to change anything. I mean, that's why they're still on dial-up. But we digress. Over the past couple of years, AOL CEO Tim Armstrong has been spending $500 million rolling up what are called ad tech companies. And ad tech is this very quickly growing, basically what they do are, these are companies that make sure that people see ads for things that they might possibly buy.
Very important, pays for our bills.
Yeah, and this is actually Ziff Davis is a big ad tech company. So this would make us a competitor to Verizon, which is a little scary, but not our problem. In any case, ad tech companies make sure that people see ads that they might want to respond to. And AOL has been busy becoming an ad tech company. And that's a big part of what Verizon wants. Verizon, which has these big ISP pipes and all of these mobile subscribers and a growing library of their own TV content, which is another thing they want from AOL. They want video production. Okay.
We'll get to that next.
Now they're going to have a role in really delivering and targeting and optimizing the ads for all of these subscribers. And since they know more about their own subscribers than anyone else does, that means that their own ad tech properties will be very, very powerful at targeting these ads.
This is one of the things one of the hidden parts of this story. Everybody agrees that one of the main drivers for the acquisition is the ad technology. But Verizon also has some pretty nice data on its users. It's got location, it's got billing information, it knows what sites you go to. It's got a great demographic, a great pool of data.
It knows what channels you've been watching on TV.
I mean, it's extraordinary, and they want to market that as well. But you touched on mobile video a little bit, and that's an important part of this as well. We think of these as websites, as content sites, but the video portion of it is something that's brand new, and that's something that they really see as the future of video content, really a replacement for the TV model for a whole new generation of viewers. Yeah,
a Verizon EVP said at an investor conference today, basically, millennials don't watch TV anymore. Millennials watch video on the web. And whether or not that's true, Verizon wants to have a much stronger presence in streaming and web video, in producing it, in owning it, in being able to manage it. And of course, that makes Verizon a competitor to companies like Netflix and Amazon and Google with YouTube, which at the same time it's delivering through its own ISP pipes. So what does that start to bring up?
Let's get to, before we get to that big giant conflict, let's get to the one that's more closer to our hearts, which is that how are AOL sites, TechCrunch and Engadget and even Huffington Post, how are they going to cover Verizon when they are in fact owned by Verizon?
Well,
and Verizon does not have a great history running content sites that are then unbiased and can write about whatever they want.
Yeah, Verizon tried to start a tech blog called SugarString last year, which was commanded not to write about the NSA or net neutrality, and then collapsed under the weight of all of the criticism it received. But I can see Verizon spinning off some of the more contentious properties, and in fact, AOL CEO Tim Armstrong has kind of been hinting that there may be other buyers out there for things like Engadget and TechCrunch. I see Verizon wanting to keep maybe the Huffington Post because they're generating a lot of video, but the Huffington Post isn't really about kind of hardcore journalistic ethics anyway. So they
it's also a global brand.
And it could just go very lifestyle. The Huffington Post could be, all Dr. Oz all the time.
So let's get to this point of what happens. So Verizon doesn't want to be a dumb pipe provider. They want to be able to serve more. They want to own the content. They want to own the consumer.
Especially with the FCC now saying that they are going to regulate ISPs much more strictly. Verizon's seeing this regulated future for its ISP business, and they're saying, okay, where can we make money where the FCC will not possibly put its fingers in our pies?
Well, but I think that they are going to put their fingers in their pies because we have net neutrality rules that are going to go into effect in just a couple of weeks that are going to control how ISPs can prioritize different content. What if Verizon starts giving AOL video a little bit faster load times over its wireless network than Ziff Davis video or YouTube video?
Well, that's the net neutrality. That's the net neutrality nightmare, and especially in the world of ad tech, where literally milliseconds matter, imperceptible milliseconds matter. If Verizon makes its ads appear just a little bit faster than some other ad tech companies' ads, the average consumer might not be able to perceive it, but it can make a huge difference for the business. So it's definitely something that's going to have to be scrutinized from the net neutrality perspective.
So let's bottom line this. The last time that AOL was in play, Time Warner, that went down as one of the worst mergers of all time. And there were a lot of similarities. You're talking about a content provider, you're talking about an ISP, you're talking about buying, them coming together and trying to create some kind of synergies that never were realized. Is this going to be a similar disaster, or do you think there's actually some opportunities here?
Well, what Verizon is looking at this much more as is like Comcast NBC Universal. And Comcast NBC Universal may have helped sync Comcast Time Warner, but as far as I know, that company's doing pretty well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And do you think that more pipe providers are going to look for this type of diversification, realize they can't sell more contracts, but they can offer more services to the people they currently have under contract?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially as we've hit smartphone saturation in the US, and with all of these 4G LTE devices, the companies are now just stealing customers from each other rather than necessarily building new smartphone and tablet customers en masse. You're definitely going to see, I would not be surprised if AT&T was not shopping around in a big way right now.
Indeed, we are going to go and get on those stories. We're going to have more analysis on this acquisition on PCMag.com. Let us know what you think about it in the comments section below on this page and on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. I'm Dan Costa. He's Sasha Segan. This is PC Mag.